Hello friends, today my topic is anatomy of eye. This is my first lecture. I will discuss in the anatomy of eye the diameters of the eye, size, shape, chambers, segments of the eyeball, and codes of the eyeball and nerve supply and blood supply of the eyeball. First, we will discuss about the structure. Structure. The structure of the eyeball is cystic structure. Cystic structure. Cystic structure. Cyst means cyst, just like a cyst. Just like a cyst. Just like a cyst. And shape. The shape of the eyeball is just like a globe. Is just like a globe. Is just like a globe. And volume. The volume of the eyeball is 6.5 ml. And weight of the eyeball is 7 gram. The eyeball is situated in a cavity called orbital cavity, which protects the eyeball from injuries. The eyeball is fully developed at the age of 8 years. 8 years. Is 8 years. This is the MCQ which always ask in the competitive exams. The eyeball, when did eyeball is fully developed? It is 8 years. In the newborn baby, when newborn is born, the newborn baby's eyes is always hypermetropic. About plus 2.5 diopter. The newborn baby's eye is always hypermetropic. When newborn baby is born, the eyes of the newborn baby is at the time of birth, the newborn baby is hypermetropic, about plus 2.5. Discuss about the power. Total power of the eye is total power of the eyeball is 16 diopter. Discuss about the diameters of the eyeball. The anterior posterior diameter is 24 mm. See, what is the anterior posterior? This is an eyeball. This is an eyeball. This is an eyeball. From the anterior surface of cornea to the posterior surface, the distance from the anterior surface to posterior surface is called anterior posterior. It is about 24 mm. The horizontal diameter is 23.5 mm, and vertical diameter is 23 mm. See what is vertical and horizontal. This is the front section of the eyeball. This is the front section of the eyeball. This is vertical diameter. This is horizontal diameter. The horizontal diameter is 23.5 mm and vertical diameter is 23 mm. The horizontal diameter is more than vertical diameter. Poles. What is poles? Pole means where the curvature is maximum. Where curvature is maximum. Eyeball has two curvatures. Two poles. Anterior pole and posterior pole. Anterior pole. See, this is an eyeball. See, this is an eyeball. This is anterior pole. This is posterior. From these two poles, a line passes. Which divides the eye into two equal halves is called equator. Equator divides the eyeball into two equal halves. This is the diameter, shape, and structure, volume, weight, and of the eyeball. We will discuss about the codes. Codes of the eyeball. Eyeball has three codes. Fibrous coat, it's also called protective coat. Second one is vascular coat. It's also called uveal tract or nutritive coat. Why it is called a nutritive coat? Because it supplies nutrition of the eyeball. Third one is nervous coat. It is also called a retina. See, eyeball has three coats. Fibrous coat, it is also called protective. Why it is called protective? Because it protects the eyeball. It protects the intraocular contact. From injuries other foreign bodies. Vascular coat. Why it is called vascular coat? Because this coat has present large amount of vessels. It's also called a uveal tract, nutritive coat, nervous coat. Why it is called? It supplies the nervous sensation or retina. First we will discuss about the fibrous coat. Fibrous coat is dense, strong, wall protects the intraocular content. Intraocular content. It includes. It has two parts. Cornea and sclera. See, this is the eyeball. This is eyeball. This is cornea. This is cornea. This is sclera. This coat is called fibrous coat. Fibrous coat. There are two parts, cornea and sclera. First, we will discuss about the cornea. Cornea is a transparent structure, transparent part of the fibrous coat. It occupies 1/6 of the fibrous coat. 1/6. If we divide the fibrous coat into 6 sections, the one section occupies the cornea. The power of the cornea is 43 to 45 diopter. Why it is transparent? Due to avascularity. Because it has no present on the vas. Due to avascularity. Discuss about the thickness of cornea. Thickness. In center 0.5 to 0.6 mm thickness. The thickness in center of the cornea is 0.5 to 0.6. Periphery is 1. See, this is cornea. This is the center portion. The center of the cornea is thinner than periphery of the cornea. This is center. This is periphery. Diameters of cornea. Horizontal diameter is 11.7 mm and vertical diameter is 11 mm. In eyeball, horizontal diameter is much more than vertical diameter. In cornea, horizontal diameter is also much more than vertical diameter. Curvature. This is about the radius of curvature of cornea. Radius of curvature cornea. It has two curvature. Anterior curvature and posterior curvature. Anterior curvature is 7.8 mm and 6.5. Posterior curvature is 6.5 mm. These curvatures are useful in keratometry. What is keratometry? Keratometry means measuring the curvature of cornea. In which condition keratometry do? Keratoconus means the curvature of the cornea analysis. Second part of the fibrous sclera. This is sclera. Sclera is an opaque part of fibrous coat. It occupies 5/6. Cornea occupies 1/6. It occupies 5/6. Cornea is transparent. It is opaque. Thickness of sclera varies from children to adult. From the thickness of sclera varies with sex, age. Children has thinner than adult. The children's sclera is thinner than adult sclera. Females have thinner. Female sclera is thinner than males. The most thinnest sclera is present at the insertion of extraocular muscles. This is an MCQ which ask in every competitive exams mostly. Name the point where the sclera is most thinnest. This is the insertion of extraocular muscles. From the point, the opening where the optic nerve passes is called the opening in sclera where the optic nerve passes is called lamina cribrosa. This is the most important point. Lamina cribrosa. Cribrosa. This is the most important point. Then the opening in sclera where the optic nerve passes is called lamina. See, this is sclera. This is the point where optic nerve passes is called lamina cribrosa. This is the thinnest where the extraocular muscles insertion. Insertion means where the insert where the extraocular muscles insert. The junction between, see, this is the sclera, this is the cornea. The junction between the two, the junction between the cornea and sclera is called limbus. Discuss about the second part. Vascular coat. It is also called uveal tract or nutritive coat. Why it is called nutritive? Because it supplies nutrition to the eyeball. It has 3 parts: iris, ciliary body, and choroid. See, this is an eyeball. This is sclera. This is cornea. This is eyeball. The outer covering is called a fibrous coat. The inner coat is called vascular coat. The anterior part of the vascular coat is iris. This is cornea. This is sclera. The anterior part of vascular coat is iris. The intermediate intermediate part of vascular coat is ciliary body, and posterior part of the vascular coat is choroid. Yes, choroid. First, we will discuss about the first part of the vascular coat, iris. What is iris? It is anterior part of vascular coat. Anterior part of vascular coat. Vascular coat. Iris. It is a thin circular disc. See. Circular disc. See, this is this word. This is from this side. This is just like this. This is just like this. This is a circular disc. This is just like a circular. This is a thin circular disc, just like a diaphragm of camera. This is just like a diaphragm of camera. In iris there is a small aperture in center. See, this is a small aperture in center. There is a small aperture in center, about 4 mm. This is called pupil. This is called pupil, which regulates the light entering reaching the retina. How does it regulate? Pupil has two muscles. In iris there are present two muscles: iris dilator muscle and iris constrictive muscle. In dim light, the iris constrictive muscle, dilator muscle, dilates the pupil because the light is low, the illumination is low, because maximum light reaching to retina. The maximum light needs to reach the retina. In bright light, iris constrictive muscle constrict the pupil because the illumination is so high. The low light reaches to the retina. The bright light, which constrict the iris constrictive pupil, constrict the pupil because bright light is bright. Later I will discuss one by one and the light is pupillary reaction and iris. First we will discuss about the anatomy. This is the iris. And this is the anatomy of iris. This is little bit anatomy of the first. After that later I will discuss one by one iris, ciliary body. Second part is of the vascular coat is ciliary body. Ciliary body is a middle, intermediate part of ciliary of uval tract. It is triangular shape. The shape of the ciliary body is triangular. It has two parts: pars pilicata, pars plana. The pars pilicata is the anterior part. This anterior part is the anterior. Pars plana is the posterior part of ciliary body. Pars pilicata is the anterior part of the ciliary body. Pars plana is the posterior part of ciliary body. Ciliary body. It is about 2 mm. It is about anterior parasplicata is about 2 mm. Parasplana is about 4 mm. The length of the parasplicata is 2 mm. The length of the parasplana is 4 mm. The parasplicata is a finger-like projections. Finger-like projections in parasplana. There is a finger-like projections called ciliary processes. Which form the aqueous humor. Which part of the ciliary body form the aqueous humor? This is parasplicata. You form the aqueous humor and hold the lens. By Xenolus. These granules arise from these finger-like projections which hold the lens. These granules arise from the anterior part of the ciliary body. This is called parasplicata, which has present finger-like projection. These finger-like projections arise these finger-like projections from these finger-like arise xenule which holds the lens, and the second one is posterior. This finger-like projection is the parasplana. The anterior part of the ciliary body is called parasplicata. Is about 2 mm. It's called a finger-like project anterior part. This is present a finger-like projection which helps in the which is also called ciliary part, which form the aqueous humor and from this finger-like arise a xenolus which holds the lens. The posterior part of the ciliary body. The posterior part of the ciliary body is 4 mm. It is smooth part. See. This portion is called parasplicata and this portion is called parasplana. When vitrectomy is done, if any patient has done a vitrectomy, how does we do this? In which portion we go into the retina? We go into the retina through a parasplana. It is also called a parasplana vitrectomy. This is called a parasplana, in which part of the ciliary body goes goes into the retina through a parasplana. This part, when vitrectomy is done in a patient, we go through the parasplana. This is also called as parasplana vitrectomy. Third part of the vascular coat is choroid. It is the most vascular part. Which is the most vascular part of the choroid? Choroid is the most vascular part. Which part of the ciliary body is of the uval tract is most vascular? This is choroid. It extends from optic disc to ora serrata. See. Ora serrata. This is an eyeball. This is cornea. This is an iris. This is ciliary body. This is parasplicata part of the ciliary body. This is parasplana. This is choroid. This is iris. This is ciliary body. This is parasplana. This is sclera. This is choroid. This is optic disc. Choroid. This is ciliary body. This is cornea. This is iris. Iris. This is iris. The junction between the posterior part of the ciliary body, pars plana, and the scoroid is called ora serrata. This is called ora serrata. This is ora serrata. The junction between the pars plana part of the ciliary body and choroid is called ora serrata. This is called the choroid extends from optic disc to ora serrata. Ora serrata. Third coat is nervous coat. It's also called retina. It also extends from optic disc to ora serrata. Optic disc to ora serrata. Ora serrata. See, this is ora serrata from the optic disc. This is ora serrata. This is called retina. This is called which extends from optic disc to ora serrata. Thickness. It is thickest in peripapillary region. Papillary region, and thinnest in ora serrata. Ora serrata. About 0.1 mm. 0.1 mm. In peripapillary it is 0.56 mm. It has two parts. It has two parts, posterior pole and peripheral retina. Peripheral retina. The posterior pole has two parts, optic disc and macula lutea. Optic disc is also called a blind spot. Why it is called blind? Because it has no cornea, because it has no cone and no cone or no rod. Macula lutea, it is the most sensitive part of the retina. It is the most, which part of the retina is most? It is macula lutea. Macula lutea. Macula lutea. Peripheral retina. Peripheral retina. In macula lutea there is more number of cones. In macula there are much more. There are more cones are present. In peripheral retina there are more rods present. In the macula lutea has present much more cones. In peripheral there are present much more rods. There are much more present rods. This is the about of the coat. Discuss about the segmentus. Segmentus of the eyeball. Eyeball. It has two segments. Anterior segment and posterior segment. First we will discuss about the anterior segment. Anterior segment. In anterior segment, it includes lens, iris, cornea, and two aqueous filled spaces. Two aqueous filled space. Next we will discuss about the lens. lens. It is transparent. Lens is a transparent. Why? Due to presence of avascularity. To presence of avascularity, because because due to presence of avascularity, because it has no vessels present. Vascularity. It is crystalline. Crystalline. Crystal means form of crystals. Form of crystals. This form of crystals. It is present in a fossa. See, this is an eyeball. This is an eyeball. This is an eyeball. Sorry, this is iris. This is ciliary body. This is choroid. This is ciliary body. This is iris. This is ciliary body. This is choroid. This is retina. This is retina. This is optic disc. That's called blind spot. The lens is present in a fossa. In a fossa. This is called. The lens is present in a fossa. This is called patellar fossa. Patellar fossa या ciliary sulcus या ciliary sulcus. Ciliary sulcus. The lens is biconvex. It is biconvex. Biconvex means both sides are convex in shape. See, this is convex. This is concave. This is biconcave. This is biconvex. The power of lens is 17 to 15 diopter to 17 diopter. In the absence of lens, if lens is absent in eyeball, this condition is called aphakia. This condition is called aphakia. If lens is absent, if lens is not present in eyeball, if lens is removed from the eyeball, but lens is not present in the eyeball, this condition is called aphakia. This condition is called aphakia. This condition. See, this is lens. Lens has two parts. Cortex, nucleus. This is cortex. The center part is nucleus. In cortex, there has present young fibers. In cortex has present young fibers. In nucleus has present old fibers. Later on, I will discuss in detail about the lens. Detail about the lens. See, discuss about the iris is already discussed. Cornea already discussed, and I will discuss about two irises. Two aqueous fluid space. This is two aqueous. The anterior aqueous fluid space is called anterior chamber. The posterior aqueous fluid space is called posterior chamber. First, we will discuss about the anterior chamber. Anterior chamber. The anterior chamber is formed anteriorly by back of the cornea, and posteriorly bounded by anterior surface of iris and anterior part of ciliary body. See, this is eyeball, this is cornea, This is anterior surface of cornea. This is back surface of cornea. This is iris. This is ciliary body. This is choroid. This is iris. This is ciliary body. This is choroid. This is retina. This is retina. This is lens. This one is called anterior chamber. This one is, see, this is the anterior chamber is anteriorly bound by back surface of the posterior surface of the cornea and posteriorly bounded by the anterior surface of the iris and ciliary bodies. The anterior chamber contains 0.025 ml of aqueous humor, which communicates with posterior chamber through pupil. This is a pupil. Through pupil. What is aqueous humor? Aqueous humor is the fluid which formed from the pigmented epithelium of non-pigmented epithelium of ciliary body, which is present in aqueous humor, anterior chamber and posterior chamber. In anterior chamber there is about 0.2 ml of aqueous humor. The anterior chamber is 2.5 mm deep in normal adults. In hypermetropia, aqueous anterior chamber is shallower. In myopia, it's opposite. This is deep. Posterior chamber. It is triangular space. Which contain 0.06 ml of aqueous humor. Anteriorly bound by posterior surface of iris and anterior part of ciliary body, and posteriorly bounded by crystalline lens. Anterior surface of crystalline lens and lateral ciliary body. Lateral ciliary body. The anterior chamber and posterior chamber form the anterior segment. I will describe this second. The posterior segment. The eyeball has two segments, anterior segment and posterior. Anterior segment is discussed, and I will next is posterior segment. Already anterior segment is already discussed, and next is the posterior segment. The posterior segment of the eyeball includes posterior surface of lens, vitreous humor, retina, choroid, optic disc. The posterior surface lens is already discussed. Retina also, choroid also, optic discuss vitreous. Vitreous is inert. transparent jelly-like structure. Jelly-like structure. Jelly-like structure. Discuss about the accessories. Discuss about the accessory structure of eye. Eyelids, lacrimal apparatus, helps in the drainage of lacrimal apparatus helps in the drainage of tears. And eyelids helps from dust. Eyelids protect from dust. Eyelids protect the eyeball from dust. Foreign body. What is extraocular muscles? Extraocular muscles are six muscles. 4 are rectus, 2 are oblique. The 4 rectus muscles is medial, lateral, superior, inferior. The 2 oblique muscles are superior oblique, and inferior oblique. This is the structure of the eyeball. Discuss about the blood supply. Of the eyeball. So it will use the arterial supply. The arterial supply is supplied by short ciliary body, ciliary artery, long ciliary artery, ophthalmos central retinal artery. The central retinal artery is the branch of ophthalmic artery. Central retinal artery is the branch of ophthalmic. Ophthalmic artery is the branch of internal carotid artery. The arterial supply is supplied by short ciliary artery, long ciliary artery, and central retinal artery, which is the branch of ophthalmic artery. Ophthalmic artery is the branch of intercarotid artery. Because about the venous drainage. The venous drainage is the venous supply. The venous drainage is drained by short ciliary vein, and anterior ciliary veins and central retinal vein and 4 Votox veins. Discuss about the nerve supply of the eyeball. Nerve supply of the eyeball. It has three nerve supply: motor supply, motor nerve supply, sensory nerve supply, autonomic nerve supply. Autonomic nerve supply. The motor supply is supplied by third cranial nerve, cranial nerve called oculomotor. It is also oculomotor. And there's the third cranial. The motor nerve supply is supplied by third cranial nerve, which supplies the LPS muscle, levator papillary muscle, which is present in eyelid and superior rectus. Fourth cranial nerve also supplied the motor nerve supply, known as trochlear, which supply the superior oblique muscle. Third, the motor supply is also supplied by sixth cranial nerve called abducens, which supply the lateral rectus muscle. And motor nerve supply is also supplied by facial nerve, seventh nerve. It supplied orbiculus oculi muscle, which is also present in eyelid. About the sensory supply. Sensory nerve supply. The sensory nerve supply is supplied by fifth nerve, trigeminal nerve, supplies the whole eye. It has three parts: trigeminal, ophthalmic division, maxillary, and mandibular. The ophthalmic division supplies the nerves. The ophthalmic division of the trigeminal supplies the sensory nerve supply to the eye. And third one is autonomic nerve supply. Autonomic nerve supply. The autonomic nerve supply is supplied by it has two types. Sympathetic has two types: sympathetic, parasympathetic. The sympathetic nerve supply is supplied into iris dilator muscle, which dilates the pupil. Ciliary body Miller muscle, which is also present in eyelid. And lacrimal gland. The parasympathetic supplies iris interpapillae, axillary body, and lacrimal gland. Iris sphincter papillae muscle constructed the pupil. The which nerve supply dilated the muscle? Sympathetic nerve supply was parasympathetic constructed the pupil. This is all about the anatomy of the eye, nerve supply and blood supply chambers and anterior chambers. The next video is on my next video is on the conjunctiva, anatomy of conjunctiva, histology of conjunctiva, and nerve supply and blood supply of the conjunctiva. Please subscribe my channel Medical Science Lectures. I will give you the much more and more knowledge about in ophthalmology sciences. Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon.